Here's something that broke people never realize. Being poor isn't primarily a low-income problem. It's low-level thinking repeated over time. People who escape poverty don't just earn more money. They think differently about opportunity, risk, value, and time. Same world, different lens, different outcome. Today, I'm breaking down 8 mindsets that quietly sabotage your wealth and practical ways to break them. Let's dive in. Number 1, the fixed pie mindset. Most people trapped in poverty see the world like a pie. They think if someone else gets a bigger slice, then there's less left for them, so they look at wealthy neighbors with resentment instead of curiosity. They see successful friends as threats instead of teachers. They avoid learning from people ahead of them because comparison triggers pain instead of inspiration. This fixed pie mentality is one of the strongest predictors of staying poor. Think about it. When you believe opportunity is finite, you don't celebrate others' wins. You don't ask successful people for advice. You don't invest in yourself because what's the point? But God's resources aren't finite. So, stop operating on scarcity economics. Wealth isn't dispersed, it's created. Every time someone gets rich ethically, they created it by solving a problem at scale. Instead of asking, why them? Ask, what did they build that people valued enough to pay for? And that question changes everything. So, when someone wins, study them. When someone earns, learn from them. Pick one person doing better than you financially and write down, what skill do they have? What problem do they solve? Who pays them and why? Their success simply proves it's possible. If they can create value, so can you. The pie isn't fixed. You can bake a bigger one. Number 2, the survival mindset. Here's what poverty does to your brain. It traps you in the now loop. Scarcity literally reduces your cognitive bandwidth. When you're always stressed about today's bills, your brain can't process tomorrow's opportunities. You stop planning, you stop investing, you stop learning. Everything becomes survival. And here's the trap. The less you plan ahead, the more emergencies you have. And the more emergencies you have, the less you can plan ahead. Perfect survival cycle. Permanent poverty. But Proverbs 6:11 says to go to the ant and learn from it. Ants aren't smarter than us. They simply think ahead. They store food during the summer so they're not scrambling when the season changes. Train yourself to think in quarters, not just days. At the start of each week, ask, what decision I make today improves my position 90 days from now? That could be setting up autosave, paying down high-interest debt, taking a course, building a side income, or simply updating your CV. Future thinking creates margin. Margin lowers stress. Lower stress leads to better decisions. And that's how poverty breaks. One smart step at a time. If this is already sharpening how you think about money, subscribe to Faithwise Finances for more practical, proven strategies to build wealth. And comment, I'm shifting my money mindset, so I know you're tracking with this. Because what I'm about to show you next is the mental prison that makes people sabotage their wealth without even realizing it. Number 3, the imposter mindset. Many people don't consciously reject wealth, but internally they question whether it's meant for them. They carry subtle but self-defeating beliefs like, good people struggle. I'm not smart enough for that. I'm not qualified enough to charge that. And their behavior obey those beliefs. They undercharge, hesitate, and shrink in rooms that require growth. Here's the economic danger. If you don't believe you can manage more, you won't position yourself for more. And even if it reaches you, you won't sustain it because you'll treat the opportunity like an accident instead of confidently stewarding it. People self-sabotage, not because they dislike success, but because a part of them doesn't feel secure or deserving enough to handle it. And that mindset usually traces back to childhood experiences with money. Tension at home, constant scarcity, criticism about spending, or guilt around ambition. So here's the truth. You cannot consistently earn beyond what you believe you're worth. Upgrade your belief, and your money rises to match it. Number 4, the comparison mindset. Social media has made this worse. This mindset has you measuring your progress against someone else's highlight reel. You see their house, their car, their vacation. You feel behind. You feel inadequate. You feel like you're losing a race you didn't sign up for. So you make one of 2 mistakes. You overspend trying to keep up while destroying your chance of building actual wealth. Or you give up entirely because what's the point if I'll never catch up? Either way, comparison steals your financial future. Here's the shift. Stop measuring yourself against others. Start measuring yourself against your own potential. So stop asking, am I ahead of them? Start asking, am I ahead of where I was 90 days ago? Simply track your own scorecard weekly. Savings rate, debt balance, skill progress, and income streams. If you track it, you can improve it. But if you compare it, you'll sabotage it. Your only competition is yesterday's version of you. Run your own race, at your own pace, toward your own finish line. Number 5, the instant gratification mindset. Modern culture is designed to steal your financial future because it monetizes your impulses. One click, instant delivery. Buy now, pay later. Pleasure now, pressure later. That's the trade. And every time you choose instant gratification over delayed gratification, you choose poverty over wealth. Because wealth only belongs to people who can wait. Hebrews 12:11 explains it this way: no discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful, but afterward there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. Practice the 72-hour rule. Before buying anything non-essential over $50, wait 72 hours. Most impulse purchases lose their power after 3 days. If you still want it, buy it intentionally. If not, you just protected your capital. You can have almost anything. You just can't have everything right now. Number 6, the income ceiling mindset. Most people don't realize they've installed an invisible income ceiling in their mind. And here's how it works. Your brain will sabotage any opportunity that exceeds your internal limit. Your self-concept regulates your results. If you see yourself as a $50,000 person, $150,000 will feel unstable, and you'll do things like reject the offer, underperform from anxiety, spend the difference fast, or simply quit prematurely. Write down your current annual income. Now write down what you'd need to 10 times it. Not to achieve it tomorrow, just to see it as possible. Your current income is not your identity. It's just your current result, and results can change. So take off the limits. Number 7, the learned helplessness mindset. When people experience repeated failure, they stop trying, even when circumstances change. When effort doesn't pay off quickly, your brain protects you by lowering your expectation. It's called learned helplessness. For instance, if you grew up watching your parents struggle and you tried to get ahead and failed, you tried again and failed again, eventually your brain says, why bother? The system is rigged. Nothing I do matters. And the moment you stop trying, poverty becomes permanent. But here's the truth. You're not defined by your past failures. You're defined by what you do next. Take one action this week that your past self said was impossible. Apply for that job. Start that side income. Pitch that client. Open the investment account. Past failure taught you what doesn't work. Now you're testing what works, because learned helplessness can become learned resilience if you let it. Number 8, the someday delusion mindset. I'll save when I earn more. I'll invest when I understand better. I'll start when the timing is right. But here's the brutal truth. Someday never comes. Later never arrives. And when never happens. You'll always find a fair reason to wait, but while you're waiting for perfect conditions, compound interest is working for everyone else. Time is of essence, so decide on one financial action you've been delaying. Do it today. Not perfectly, just done. An imperfect action always beats a perfect planning that never starts. Here's the truth. These mindsets are not personality traits. They're learned patterns. And learned patterns can be unlearned. Proverbs 23:7 says it plainly. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Change your thinking, change your behavior, change your bank account. Your income will never exceed your identity, and your wealth will never surpass your beliefs. But when you realign your money mindset, everything shifts. If this exposed a mindset you didn't know you had, do 2 things. 1. Subscribe to Faithwise Finances. 2. Comment which mindset you're breaking first, because poverty is a mindset before it's a bank balance. Fix your mindset and go build your wealth now.